by 3 players at once. But just like we have the Michael Jordan rule, we also have the LeBron James rule. When LeBron joined the Miami Heat in 2010, there were a lot of haters. People breaking their TVs, burning LeBron jerseys, and people being disrespectful to LeBron at the games. But things were about to get worse. As LeBron was coming back to Cleveland for the first time to play against his old team, and the NBA noticed something. People were selling shirts that said really rude things about LeBron. The NBA realized things could get crazy at LeBron's return game. So the NBA created the LeBron James rule. During the games, fans were not allowed to wear anything that would be rude to LeBron. The NBA warned fans not to wear those shirts or to bring any signs with bad words on it. They took it so seriously, the NBA placed extra security to even get into the stadium. And this rule helped LeBron because he was able to focus on the game and not the fans. He scored 38 points and the Heat blew out the Cavaliers, winning 118-90. The crazy thing is, this only applied to LeBron James. But what Reggie Miller did created a rule that changed the NBA forever. But it wasn't the defenders' fault. Miller was the one kicking them. Still, referees would call the foul, and Reggie Miller would get some easy free throws. The game Reggie Miller scored the most points of his career. 57. 21 of those points were from free throws. He hated the Reggie Miller rule, where a player cannot kick his legs to try and draw a free throw. The funny ball, and this was practically cheating, as Wade would get up to 25 free throws a game. But the worst part, other NBA players started to copy him. All of a sudden, a lot of players were doing the D-Wade pump fake to get to the foul line. The NBA realized, these guys are doing what Reggie Miller did. They're using cheat codes. So the Dwayne Wade rule was created. When NBA players pump fake, they cannot lean into the defender to draw a foul. Unfortunately for Wade, he stopped getting so many free throws. And unfortunately for me, you're not subscribed. Come on, man, hit that subscribe button. But in our next rule change, the NBA pretty much banned fun. Because the NBA started to ban celebrations. There are iconic celebrations, like LeBron's leg pump, Russell Westbrook holding a baby, even three-point goggles. But one player took it too far. Sam Cassell, an all-star point guard, shocked everybody when he did the big ball celebration. The most iconic celebration at the time. After hitting a clutch shot, he just had to do it. Fun fact, Sam Cassell broke his hip while doing the dance. So he was out for the playoffs and cost his team an NBA championship. But this got bigger than just Sam Cassell. Kobe Bryant did it. Fred VanVleet did it, but then LeBron did it, and the NBA said no, 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 you have crossed the line. Enough of this stupid celebration. So the big ball rule was created. Players were not allowed to do the celebration. And if they did, they would get a $15,000 fine, and we've never seen it happen again. But this next one is so serious it almost ended an NBA player's career. Zaza Pachulia was known for being a dirty puss. One time, he injured Russell Westbrook and stared him down. How are you staring down a player that you just hurt? But what he did in the 2017 playoffs was way worse. The Warriors were dominating the playoffs, but they were terrified of the San Antonio Spurs. They knew they couldn't stop Kawhi Leonard. So in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, the Spurs are winning by 20 points. And Zaza Pachulia has an idea. Kawhi Leonard goes for the jump shot. Zaza jumps into Kawhi Leonard, stepping on his ankle. Leonard fires from the corner. Leonard goes down again, and he's in pain again in front of the Spurs bench. Will summoning alongside athletic trainer for the Spurs. The crowd reacting. This isn't defense. This is disgusting. Kawhi Leonard was out for the playoffs, and the Warriors won a championship. The NBA had to make a rule change. So they created the Zaza rule, where defenders have to be careful when someone is shooting a jump shot. You can't just jump into the player and injure them. So now if Zaza did, they would get a flagrant. Zaza was fouled and could be ejected from the game. But Zaza wasn't done ruining the NBA because he forced another rule change. In 2017, the NBA had fan voting for the All-Star game. Whoever the fans voted for the most would be an All-Star. Zaza Pachulia is from Georgia. But the entire country voted for Zaza Pachulia, giving him the most votes. Zaza Pachulia, right now, second among Western Conference frontcourt players. He was averaging 6 points. And was going to be the starting center for the All-Star game. But things got crazier, because people all over the world started to vote for Zaza. Not only Georgia. Everyone wanted to see an average player who play in the All-Star game, but the NBA didn't want this. How could a mediocre player like Zaza be in the All-Star game ahead of Blake Griffin or Karl Anthony Towns, the best big men in the league? So, the second Zaza rule was created, where fan votes only count for 50%, and the other 50% is NBA players voting. Thankfully, Zaza Pachulia was not in Austin. All because of this new rule. But at least Zaza didn't break the game like Kevin Durant did. Kevin Durant won MVP at the age of 25. Was it all with his skill? Or did he have a cheat code that helped him? Spoiler alert, he had a cheat code. KD invented a move called the rip-through. This is the rip-through. He would swing his arms into the defender and a foul would be called. How is this a foul? Well, according to the NBA rule book, this move was allowed and Kevin Durant took advantage of it. Because of all the free throws he scored. He scored 32 points per game, but he wasn't the only one. Kobe Bryant saw what Kevin Durant was doing, and he started to do the same move. Then, Dwayne Wade started doing it, and the NBA said, "You guys have crossed the line." The Kevin Durant rule was created, and this move was banned. This was a cheat code. So it was banned for a good reason, but our next rule change was because Allen Iverson was too good. Allen Iverson had the best crossover in NBA history. It might have been unfair, and the NBA thought it is. Unfair. Iverson would hold the ball upside down, giving him complete control of the ball. Maybe he only did this because sometimes. No, he did this his entire career and it was called carrying the ball. So the NBA said it's time for a rule change. The NBA created the Allen Iverson rule. Holding the ball upside down while dribbling was now illegal. If you held the ball upside down, it was a turnover. But when NBA referees started calling this penalty, Allen Iverson was already retired. If Allen Iverson wasn't allowed to carry from the beginning of his career, who knows? He might not have been a superstar. But our next rule change, everybody hated. Dikembe Mutombo was known for every time he blocked somebody, he gave them the no finger wag. Sometimes he did this to the player he blocked. Other times he did it to the crowd. NBA players were scared to go for a layup because they did not want to be embarrassed by the finger wag. So the NBA said, "We're making a rule change." The finger wag is now considered taunting. If you don't know what taunting is, it's being rude to a player. And all taunting was banned. So the finger wag was banned. Fans hated this rule because we love to see players trash talk. Some players today still taunt, even though it's illegal, like Patrick Beverley or Dylan Brooks. But every time they do it, they get fined for breaking the new rule. But what about a rule change that was made because one NBA he found a cheat code. Harden would lock his arm with the defender's arm and go up for a shot. And every time, it was a foul on the defender. Harden started getting 20 free throws a game, 20 easy points from doing this. The defender can't do anything about it. Harden took advantage of this and averaged 35 points per game, winning an MVP. Until the NBA finally made a rule. The Harden rule. Locking your arm with the defender's arm is no longer a foul. And all of a sudden, Harden wasn't, he lost his cheat code. These are NBA players who force rule changes. But what about NBA players who almost died? I've got to see that.